Welcome to the Two Boots Word Vault podcast. I've recorded the poems from the second chapter of my 2010 book, Herds of Bears Surround Us. The second printing of this book became available February 1st, 2025. This chapter's poems are about my time teaching at-risk youth at the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Red Wing, Minnesota. I'd like to read some poems from my 2010 book, Herds of Bears Surround Us. Poems from the section about my time at the Red Wing Correctional Facility. This was published by Red Dragonfly Press. No one told him. When he enters the juvenile prison, his face hardens to meet the metal doors. His ears turn as unreceptive as security glass. His bones stiffen against the concrete. With his cheekbones like stone bluffs and eyes like slivers of steel, he's heard of Red Wing, the staff, the site, and his time. No one told him that depression is coming, and his adulthood will have to start inside it. Another one, unwelcome students. Unwelcome students enter my room like slow tar. The walls foul with their attention. When asked to leave, they're unwilling or unable to retract that attention. If I guide them away, they change and swarm like gnats with insincere conversation. They leave behind stains, dark odors, and the eruptions of my own malevolence. An inmate weeps on his math test. On a day as beautiful as a trillium among the hardwoods, an inmate weeps on his math test. Outside, the sun warms the grass, and a burdened heron flies over the institutional trees. A week into his recidivist sentence, something's moving inside him, through his mind, through the fisty muscle in his throat, through his tear ducts, then over his shivering lips. I slide a box of tissues to him. My work is to be nearby, correct his tests, send my words halfway across his table, and wait. Here's a couple short poems. This first one is based on some poems by Tomas Transtromer, who worked in a Swedish correctional facility for youth. The swans have to migrate. Spring. Clouds so low, swans have to migrate past the boys' open window. Here's another short one. Sarcasm. Sarcasm is the razor wire a clever boy unrolls around his fear. Here's another one. With a chip on his shoulder. By that practiced walk, you know, he's 16, and already he carries a piece of concrete curb on his shoulder. Rotary sawburrs. Listen, A rotary saw burrs through 2x4s. It's a springtime sound I knew years ago in Janesville. But today, January 7th, it's 10 below zero, and contractors install windows on this school for juvenile prisoners. Two immature hummingbirds. Two immature hummingbirds died of thirst, then dried like mummies between the storm window and the double-hung sash on the backside of the administrator's building where hearing officers may grant parole. Trick or treat. With my hand inside a skunk pelt and hidden under my desk, I offer trick or treat to the boys as they enter my classroom on Halloween. Because they expect candy, they scatter like fish as fur emerges in their midst. As with grace or hatred, what's inside can't always be recognized. The sweet peach hides a delicate taste and a hard, possible future. The homely coconut bears the milk from paradise. My student with fetal alcohol syndrome. Under his flat black brow, his eyes are spotted pearls peeking through the briars of fear. In his growing panic, chaos wrestles with his arms, his legs, and self-righteousness. Maybe the brush thins out inside his mind, and baby raccoons roll in a ball at his feet, and he rests under tall, thick beleaf trees, and the moon shines, and Jesus holds his hand. And finally, the snake in anger class. The boys in this class are teenage pedophiles, rapists, or boy toy prostitutes. They're here for enforced anger treatment. After I tell the lindworm story about an enormous snake who kills all his brides until a wise one scrubs him with lye and wire brushes, my students draw crazy snakes on large flip chart papers with colored markers and crude, jagged lines. However, one boy who revels in Satanism and the disgust he provokes, quickly and lightly pencils an elaborate snake. As a child, his mother kept him close, too close, and she guided his small organ by hand. Then he forced small girls to do the same. In class, his coiled snake rears a hooded head, and its two perfect teeth drip gray blood, and the venom he's drawn with his deft and practiced touch.